So you were working the sound there?
I did a few times.
Nice.
I also played drums.
Oh, nice.
I also was a member of the guest relations team.
Oh, wow.
And now, there we go. Okay, hold on. Now,
Javon, Jamie, and Jeff in the green room for success.
okay. Now, while we're waiting, everybody, I know we're a little late. And if anybody's tuning in, I don't know, but we're a little late. Again, in this day and age, there have been technical difficulties. And once again, today is no exception to the rule. And over the last week, actually, Javon, I've been late a few times because of technical difficulties. And a lot of it is just electronic stuff. And
Right.
we know that when everything works, it's really cool. But
Yes.
they're all, especially now with everybody using electronics, we're kind of at the mercy of the internet. We're kind of at the mercy of electronics and all the stuff. So
Yeah.
whatever reason, we could see Jamie, but we couldn't hear him. So we decided to go ahead and go live, Javon and myself, and we just talk about him until let's just talk about Jamie until he comes in. But now, once again, I want to give a shout out to Dana Keith up in Ontario, Canada,
Wow.
for sending in the little voice snippet that we did, Javon, Jamie, and Jeff. Now, I kind of think I want to expand that and make it a bigger, more of a long thing.
Definitely.
That would be kind of cool.
No question.
So we were talking a little bit about getting a topic and coming up with a topic. And last week, Kimberly, before we signed off, what she instant messaged me was the topic that she was thinking about was what we were talking about at the end, and that is relationships that
Okay.
we're all going through, and how this stay-at-home thing and having to be around people that normally are our loved ones, but then we would be away from them at different points during the day. And now all of a sudden we have to be together, and it was causing people to well, Jamie, we see you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, that's a good thing. All right. So now we've got the third J.
Cool.
Of the triple J. All right. So we tried to not talk about you while you were gone because you're to defend yourself.
Yeah, right. Good luck with that.
All right.
Even when I'm early, I'm late.
I know, right?
Okay.
Jeez.
All right. I was losing my mind the other day, and we'll get into the topic. Javon and I were just talking. I think we ended at last Sunday of trying to come up with a topic for today, and it was relationships and how this is causing relationships to get broken up. And Kimberly suggested that's actually what she was wanting to be part of the topic. We asked anybody to come up with a topic, so that would be a good topic. But I want to start a little bit with current events, and it's this idea of reopening again. And the thing that happened in Nebraska the day after we had our talk, and on Sunday, where the hospital I was born in was getting overrun by COVID-19 patients in Nebraska at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
The governor wanted to open up this large shopping center. The good thing that happened yesterday is he got so much pushback from people, believe it or not, people in Nebraska pushed back and said, no, I don't know. I don't, even the workers, I don't know if I really want to go to work and get sick. So they decided to not open up this big shopping center. And we were talking about how this is rolling out across the country. And just before you joined us, Jamie, we were talking about the people that want to go back to work, and they're going to want to go back to work and protest until this hits them. And both of you guys have said over and over, this disease does not discriminate. And the Republicans that are pushing to open and support of Trump pushing to open, it's going to get them at some point, and they won't be able to go to work, or when one of their family members is sick, they're going to rethink going back to work.
Natural selection at its finest.
Well,
It is.
This is our history as a country. I mean, the roots of racism have shown it's, has manifested again. And now it's in the form of go back to work before there's a cure, before there's anything that we can do. Because the only people that this affects, Jeff, I mean, of course, there's people who, let's just put it like this. The reason why the death rate is so high for those of color has to do with lack of insurance, poverty. The poor folks are the ones who are going to suffer from this. The people who don't have, it's not saying that more white folks are recovering from it. What it's saying is that they have more of the opportunity to recover from it than a poor person who doesn't have insurance, so that's the reason why the number is so high. It's the same thing with prisons. Why would over 50% of black criminals, black people be in jail, but we're only 13%? It's not like white people aren't committing crimes, Come on, dude.
Arrested.
They just have lawyers, or they have family, or they have privileges that black people don't have. So, the fact of the matter is that, who does this affect us going back sooner is those who they say, look, we don't care about those poor people. We don't care about those, those people of color who have helped build this country. Let's get them out of the way as soon as possible. Now, if it affects somebody's in Trump's family, watch what happens. Or the governor's family. Watch what happens. Oh, there's going to be new kind of rules, bro. New kind of rules.
You think?
New kind of insurance.
What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah.
What would happen if Trump, and not in Trump's family, but what would happen if Mitch McConnell got sick?
Well, you do have diehards. There's people that are willing to take one for the racism. To keep things as the power that be. I don't know if you guys saw that video that surfaced in the midst of all this, those two white college kids who made the most racist video I've seen. Who were, it happened in a part of Georgia, matter of fact. They were making fun of black people and using the N-word and, the virus and all kinds of things, how it's affected us. You're going to have those. Yeah, you're going to have those. Fortunately, those are the few. But the reality this is only going to affect those who can't take care of themselves. And nobody gives a damn.
It's true, because we see all the celebrities getting it, and they're all healing from it and coming back, bouncing back, Idris Elba is bouncing back. All the basketball players that got it, bouncing back. Chris Cuomo's bouncing back. His wife that got it is bouncing back. Brooke Baldwin, who had it, bounced back. So you're right. All the wealthy people that we know, the celebrities that got it, it's like the flu. They just shook it off.
Yeah, but what about Pookie and that?
Right.
Well, if I got sick, and here,
right,
who's dead? You cut out,
It's
Jamie.
a
You froze
figure
up
of
a little.
it's a figure of speech, Jeff.
Yeah, you should know about this, Jeff. I mean, since if you're gonna be at the picnic, you should know about Pookie.
Yeah, if you're gonna go to the black picnic, you better know the family members.
No, I just didn't hear it. I did. Your video cut out, and I wasn't sure what you said.
I said Pookie.
Okay, all right. Well, in case I don't know, in case somebody that was listening don't know, explain that.
Pookie is the stereotypical family member that always gets the brunt of the bad stuff.
Hmm.
He's the one that always gets blamed and has the least of everything. But we love him anyway because he's part of the family. So
Yeah.
so Pookie ain't gonna get the insurance, but the family's got to try to take care of him the best way they can. He's the one that's gonna be caught stealing, but only stealing because he was trying to feed his family. You know?
Should write a book, man. Should write
Yeah,
a fucking book.
yeah.
Another
That's
one.
that's Pookie.
Okay.
So Pookie is our proverbial loved brother who keep doing the damn wrong thing every time. Pookie is taken from the buffet. He's taking a doggy plate from the buffet, and ain't nobody ate yet.
I know some musicians like that.
What Pookie is, he's starving. He ain't got no food at home, so he's taking an extra plate for himself. But everybody else sees him as bad, trifling. Got it?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I get it. Now, just so
Okay.
you know, and I've thought about this when I was feeling sick and started imagining myself getting sick and getting coronavirus, and I don't have insurance, and I live a block from the emergency room, and would they accept me if I have my credit cards are blocked now because I'm late on my payments, so I would have nowhere to pay.
Yeah.
So, and I don't have insurance. If I walked over there, would I get taken care of? No. Maybe because I'm white.
Probably not, player. But you're poor.
That's right. I'm poor.
Cash poor.
So they probably wouldn't take me, or they would send me to some sort of public hospital that might be open.
A clinic with about 300 people in front of you.
Right. And I've been
in that probably all I got it.
Yep.
Right.
You sitting in the waiting room.
They ain't got no mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd say self-quarantine. That's what they'd say.
Well, and you know what? That my choice, what I would do is if I really got sick, is I would just stay in my house in my bed.
That's it.
I wouldn't do anything else. And
that's it.
More than likely, all they would do to me there is give me a little bit of medicine and say, go home. So
they'd give you some Band-Aid pharmaceutical items.
All right. So, this is depressing, guys. I'm fucking depressed now just talking about this shit.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Express it. It's a part of life. We got to accept it all, the whole of it. And if we can accept the whole of it and embrace the moment, then it doesn't have to be depressing. It could just be the other end of the spectrum,
right,
of what is life.
So
okay?
while we're going today, I'm gonna interject text and everything. And somebody asked me if I've ever applied for Medi-Cal, and no, I will never apply for insurance. I won't ever do it again. Just so everybody knows, don't ever recommend that I get insurance, because I've not had it since I was 40, nor will I ever give my hard-earned money to insurance again. And do I not want it because I don't want to have to go over and say, do you have insurance, in order to get taken care of? I would rather stay in my home, personally. Just me.
Why don't you want to file for Medi-Cal?
I refuse to file any sense of insurance, because up until now, I'm 61. I have been healthy for 21 years. Giving $200 a month to somebody else just in case, I refuse to do.
I pay $22 a month.
It's still too much for me.
Okay.
I won't do it. I'll do it for my daughter if I have to, but I will never do it for me again, ever. That's just a personal, and I am really adamant about that. And It's the choice I made when I turned 40, and my insurance bill went up to like $450 a month for basic fucking shit.
But that was before Barack Obama and covered California. Like this whole thing is new. You have to pay a whole lot less for just basic insurance.
You do, however, the deductible is really high.
It is. It
So
is. If you get sick.
money. I just don't even want to give any money. So
Yeah.
I'm just giving you my argument.
Okay.
I just don't, because of whatever. I won't even call ever. I have for Mackenzie though, taking care of Mackenzie, but not for me. So
Good.
Anyway, that's just me, and I get really adamant about it.
Apparently.
Yeah, it's like, leave me alone, man. Leave me alone. We can have fucking insurance. Pardon
Hey,
me.
you're a podcast. I mean, I can ask you some questions, right? You're doing the live stream.
Well, that's what it's about. I mean, this is like us. This is the same shit we'd be talking about if we were just sitting and talking.
That's
in
right.
the green room.
I wouldn't react.
Right.
Shit talking with Triple J.
So now, having said all of that, I'm inviting people to chime in, and invite other views. I'm sure.
Fear of the truth keeps people from calling in, dude.
Well, like Jeff said, let's get the theme going, right? So the theme is relationships.
Right.
Go.
Bam.
Like I have people that will remain nameless that are eating dinner in their car. Right?
Yep.
Okay, that's happening right now. Or they're taking long drives up into Big Bear for an hour and a half and back just to get away.
Yep.
Because they're like, man, I'm not used to just always being in my face and me always being in her face.
Yes.
So I have been seeing that from my small circle.
Yes.
I'm sure you got stories as well, Jay.
Oh my gosh, dude. I got one that have purchased separate residences.
Okay.
On.
Purchased separate residences.
Heading for divorce because they liked it better when they weren't together. So this is an opportunity to see if they really want to be together, because they're forced to see the other person and know and discover them for who they are, as opposed to who they thought they were. And it's I got another couple who I think somebody might see this, so I won't say that one.
Okay. All right. But that's why I said
let's just say,
remain nameless.
And here's the other thing about it that I find striking is that there are 3 Christian couples who said for better or for worse, and now they're out. They're heading towards an out.
Jeez.
So the thing is that what's going on right now is the magnifying glass and wake up call that a lot of people didn't see coming.
That's the word.
And it's showing them, this is what you have. I've stripped everything away.
Yes.
Now you're left with this human being that you chose to share your time.
She can't go to the salon. She can't go get her hair did. She can't get her nails did.
He can't get his hairline trimmed.
He can't. He can't get his new shoes.
He can't get new shoes. You're stuck with nothing but pure raw human being.
Yeah, it's true.
Can I ask you a question now? I'm going to take this a little deeper now, based on what we're talking. And this is Kimberly's question. I'm going to put this up, and this is relevant to what I'm going to ask what you two guys were just talking about. Kimberly, my question is relationships, dating, sex, marriage during and post coronavirus. So I'm feeding back to somebody's speaker. I think it's probably Jamie. a little bit.
Well,
You can turn down some or something.
Yeah, turn down your sound just a smidge.
Okay, I turned down.
Okay, so now this is my question, and this is relevant to this dating question right now. Those people who were having issues now, maybe there's a way we need to look into who we pick as partners in a different way and who we choose to be around. If when we're around them, we realize we don't like being around them.
yeah,
Is that
but you don't have, yeah, I guess you didn't have the time before to spend as much time with them to really get that part of them, right? They were able to keep up the facade for so long, but now the real is being exposed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
so? But yeah, I was thinking. I've always thought that when I'm around somebody, and I have an exceptional relationship with my daughter Mackenzie, and I always wonder if there wouldn't be a way I could have a relationship with a female, a partner that I have that kind of relationship with. For example, when Mackenzie and I go out and she says, I'm hungry. I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of hungry too. Okay, what do you feel like eating? I don't know. Well, what about this? Yeah, that sounds okay. Well, and neither one of us get upset because the other one can't make up their mind, or we choose something and we're not, yeah, okay, I'll try that. We don't, and then when we get there, I don't like it. She says, I don't really like it. I'm like, okay, well, we know we aren't going to come here again. And we just eat and go ahead and then try something different the next time. My experience has been, what do you mean you don't like it? Well, you picked it. I mean, those kinds of,
Well, I think I know what that is. You may not have ever heard of this before. That's called relationship.
Yeah, man. The hell? Like, there's a big part that's missing in the equation, sex. Okay?
oh, is
That's
that what
why.
it is?
Yeah.
Relationship over marriage. Relationship over friendship. Relationship is the glue that holds two people together. What you just explained was the perfect relationship.
No, I
And that
don't know about the
relation
perfect relationship.
well, it's the perfect example of a relationship
Okay.
because you're both meeting each other where you're at. Now,
Okay.
if you could find a female that you could do that with, or if you're gay, a male that you could do that with, then you'd have the same joy, which means that you're accepting each other for who each other is. There is no other agenda.
And
It's
that's love.
that's your father. That's the father daughter. That's the father son. That's true love when you accept
It's
each
true
other.
love. That's true love. There you
That's it.
go. There you go. Now,
That's it.
if we could apply that same concept to the moment,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
there you go.
Because you guys are in the moment every time. What do
And
you
that's
want?
why it's so
Oh, I don't
good,
know. That
right?
doesn't sound good. What do you want? Oh, I think we tried it. Oh, okay, that sounds good. You're both in the moment. You're not
Uh-huh.
saying, well, I had Burger King last week and that was really good. And,
Right.
why would you want to have something different other than, come on. Neither person is in the moment. You and Mackenzie know how to be in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's missing.
Yeah, and also let me add the two of you with me and my little tit tat at going about my insurance and how defensive I got.
Yeah, real
Yeah,
quick.
we,
Real
we
quick.
accept that you got a Nebraska, state of mind.
We accept that.
The, this is just Jeff being Jeff, and these are the pieces of Jeff. And not everybody wants all the pieces of the person. They want to peel back layers of that person and just pick the ones they like. When you've got to accept the individual as a whole, whatever.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and
And that's
and,
what
and,
I
and you know
guess.
what? Musicians have it really bad because I've always said we're married to our instrument first. Whatever the thing is we love.
Yeah.
If we may not want to accept that, but we love if anything's been with us through the test of time is our instrument.
Right. Been through many relationships.
Through
Right.
thick and thin, it's been consistent.
Yeah.
So let me ask this, Kimberly says, "What about renegotiating an existing relationship?" Well, first of all, if you renegotiate with somebody, that means two people have to be willing to do it, and if the other
Hmm.
person isn't, it ain't going to happen.
Right.
Negotiation is fine as long as you're not compromising.
Right.
Well, that's an interesting concept because I feel like negotiation is compromising.
A little bit.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the conversation to have, I guess.
I can negotiate a salary, but I'm only going to negotiate a salary I can live with and I'm happy with.
So from that perspective, in a relationship, then if this person isn't willing to accept that, then they must walk away.
Exactly. Because you're going to compromise after that. It's like, a lot of relationships are built on, the foundation is, I don't want to be alone. She makes me look good or he makes me look good. They're paying their part of the rent, or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
It's things other than, hey, I just like this person.
Yeah, yeah.
When the finances go away, that peels back the layers of the
Yes.
reasoning behind
Yes.
why this person wants to be. Mackenzie doesn't care what you do, Dad. You're
Right.
always going to be Dad,
Mm-hmm.
regardless if you have a depleted bank account,
Mm-hmm.
homeless, or whatever, or in a mansion. She's like,
Right.
my dad's my dad.
Right.
This is where relationships fall apart, especially for musicians, is because a lot of times the musician is struggling to be successful at the expense of whoever their partner is too. And if their partner has a time limit and doesn't really accept them for who they are, that's over.
Yeah. Time's up, huh?
Yep, time's up. You've been
Time's up.
trying this for 20 years. And then they
Well,
break up. And then that 21st year, you get the greatest gig ever.
well, for me, man, I see relationships as an evolving thing, something that is living. And so something that's evolving is changing every day. So every day requires that negotiation. Okay. So this is for Kimberly. Every day requires that negotiation. Okay. And that's the work. Okay. That's the work that keeps the relationship fresh and evolving and growing. You know what I mean? That's my answer to Kimberly's question.
Well, my answer is kind of, I lean a little bit more towards Jamie now at 61 and being single for the last 6 years. Let me tell no, and the reason is, I would love to date and meet a woman, but I have set a limit of what I will accept in my life. So what I won't do, the minute a woman walks up, more 9 times out of 10, the minute she starts talking, I already know she ain't going to work because there's a certain.
Yeah.
So when I was talking with Ricky Byers today, and I was listening to her, and I said, "Now this is a woman I could be with."
Yeah.
Mm,
Accept her unconditionally because she was letting me be unconditionally myself.
mm.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of person I will be with. And people like that are really rare because most people I meet, almost 99% of the women I've met already have a condition that they want to put on me in order for them to be in a relationship with me.
That sucks.
I refuse to be anything other than what I am.
Good.
So
Yeah.
that means I will probably be single for the rest of my life.
No, I don't think so.
And even Mackenzie says, yeah,
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
And then, and here's the thing that what you just said, Jeff, that's so powerful about that is that there's nothing wrong with that.
right.
There's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of times people have the fear of being uh, lonely when really what you are is just alone. And you don't really have to. Having another person by your side doesn't define you as a person. There's people who were
Right.
married
Well, that's true.
for 50 years and they were miserable
My parents.
in their relationship to the world. It looks, And then I've
Yeah.
known people who was married 35 years, and then one day the woman said, "You know what? I've had enough. I can't do this anymore." And that was
Wow.
the end. Matter of fact, I had a friend that happened to just recently. She just said, "You know what? I can't do this anymore."
Wow.
After 9 years of thinking he was in bliss,
Ouch.
in bliss, like never saw like sideline, never see. And this person
Wow.
has money, a
Wow.
great job, but
Wow.
for 9 years, she had led him astray and let him think that she was happy, and really the pressure of having to be someone else decided to make her reveal that I don't want this. And the
Wow. Oh,
virus,
so
brought that
that's
about.
oh, amazing.
And so
Well,
you're
like
stuck with the
yes.
person. The person who was at work 10, 12 hours a day is now at home 10,
Right.
12 hours.
Jeez.
Hey,
Yeah.
Javon, do you have children watching a cartoon over there?
Yes.
Okay, that's what the noise is. That's beautiful.
It's the cartoon. Yeah.
Yeah, negotiate that while you're over there.
I'll come over here. All right, coming back over to my office.
Okay, that's funny. I'm sorry.
Guys, stop watching the cartoons, and I'll give you some Takis afterwards.
We're all stuck in the house, right?
Right?
There you go. There you go.
And there's also needs to be in a negotiation. For me, there has to be also an understanding or a willingness to maybe take a look at what the other person might be going through. For example,
Mhm.
this is funny. Kimberly, like, turn that shit down, man.
Oh, even Kimberly hears it.
Okay.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And my example is my neighbors next door who live out loud. They're really loud people.
Yeah.
And I need to be willing to let them live that and, except for after 11 o'clock. And after 11 o'clock, they're quiet as hell. So I have to understand where this is how they are. They stand out in their driveway and they're kind of noisy, but they're my neighbors. I have to accept. There's a certain amount of acceptance that needs to go on, and understanding where other people are before I need to enter into a negotiation. If and that as an example, I need to be willing to hear the other person.
Yeah.
There you go. That word acceptance again, right?
Yeah.
Love. Love is acceptance. God is love. God is acceptance. But at the end of the day, there's still negotiation. Okay, I need my 6 feet. You're negotiating all day, every day. And I think along with accepting comes compromise, right? Like I just had to move because my daughter had on the cartoons. I compromised.
Well,
yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying with here, but let me give you some band experiences that I've had. I've been with a band, a popular band, traveling on the road, who I've had to ask for per diem, who didn't want to give per diem, and then per diem had to be negotiated.
I've been there as well.
Then I've had another popular band who didn't make as much money as them, who had per diem waiting for me when I got off the plane, because they understood that it was an expense. I've got to live. It costs gas to go into my car to get there. My per diem shouldn't come out of my salary. My per diem is separate from the expense, from my pay, from my performance pay. I never ever had to negotiate that. So the fact of the matter is, I'd rather have communication, by an inspiration of a thoughtful person over negotiation, because negotiation means to me that this person would continue to do this thing had I not asked for them to do it. So I need a certain sensitivity to who I am and what my needs are. And that comes more from communication than negotiation, because as soon as you negotiate, I negotiated with these guys and I got what I want. They went behind my back and said, "Can you believe he asked for per diem and blah, blah." He's an asshole, but really, So compromise and negotiation doesn't work for me unless it's business. But as far as a relationship goes, my daughter's parents, grandparents, oh my God, they were amazing. When you spend time with them, he could be sitting at the table having a discussion. I mean, this was consistent. He could be having a discussion with me about anything, and she would realize how much time has passed. And the next thing you know, she slid a sandwich and like a soda next to us, or she would be sitting in the chair, and she would be talking to us, and he would come down and decide to massage her shoulders. I mean, that's relationship right there, where you can sense the need of the other person and you do it voluntarily, not through negotiation. And I understand that works for some people. Say, "Honey, can you bring me blah, 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 blah." But man, there's nothing like, if you work 12-hour days and you come home to a meal, as opposed to calling before you get home and say, "Hey, can you throw something in for me?" That's a different kind of relationship. So, I prefer personally, somebody who's thoughtful and in connection with me as a person if I'm going to spend my time in life with them.
Right. I was talking with David Alt yesterday, and one of the things he said is he was talking about reciprocity. Reciprocity. And man, I never say it right because I'm never learned how to talk in my hometown. Yeah. Well, yeah, everything's just getting gooder and gooder.
Sorry, guys.
The reciprocity is giving something to somebody and doing something for somebody doesn't mean, if you're doing it in love, you're doing it because you want to do it, not because you're expecting something in return.
Yes.
Many of
because that's giving.
Right. My relationships I've been in have been them giving me something and then looking at me like, okay, what am I going to get? Or there's some kind of
compensation.
There's a hook ready to pull me in for something after they give me.
Yes.
Even just saying I love you means they need to hear it back because they're feeling insecure.
You can't fool the universe, okay? And everything is intention. And if you give something with expectation, you're going to get the opposite of that. Universal law says that you're not going to get what you're expecting if you give with that intent.
Or Javon, they couldn't, but not what they thought they were going to get.
Right. You're always going to get something, right? Cause and effect.
If it's disappointment, well.
It usually is.
Yes. And
so pure intent.
Yeah.
You know what just occurred to me, fellas? You know what just occurred to me? Isn't everything we're talking about exactly the kind of relationship we have with God?
Yes. Because you were totally accepted for who you are unconditionally.
Amen.
Who you are is okay. And this is what the biggest challenge. I was talking to a friend today. This is one of the biggest challenges people have, is a fear of being them. There's fear of being them. There's people who will wear a raggedy afro out in public and be fine. And there's some people have a hair out of place and they'll be like, oh, I can't go outside like this. I can't go outside. What will people say? You know?
Love of
And there's,
self.
yes, we've been taught and conditioned that who we are is not okay. And it started from the first day we went to kindergarten.
It's not enough. It's
The
not
first
enough,
day we
little
went to
Johnny.
kindergarten.
Do better.
First day. We are
Going to hell,
programmed.
little Johnny.
Yes. You can't be that. You can't do that. You can't. This is the way you should be. You shouldn't be angry. You shouldn't be crying. You shouldn't. We don't. We give consequence where concession should be, and we haven't practiced that as a people. We
But you know
haven't.
what?
There's like,
Isn't it a beautiful journey back home?
how about that?
Right.
How about
Hey,
that? How about
Mark,
that? You can say that again, Pastor.
Because then you, you know,
Keep it
then
up. I'm
you,
gonna throw some money in an
yeah, man.
envelope.
I was saying, man, because then you could really love yourself from a place of integrity where no one can take, or no one or nothing that happens can take that away from you.
Yeah.
Like the love that I have for myself has nothing to do with my accomplishments. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because I feel like this is what this whole stay at home, which is stay at self, in my opinion, stay with self,
Mm.
is doing for people. Is it's aligning your fears of who you thought you were with the fears of who you really are.
Oof.
A lot of people are afraid to be what's being revealed about them,
Eh. Yeah, man.
and that's where the suffering's coming from.
Ego
But
death.
but I'm the main sax player for blah blah.
Not no more.
No, no, you're not.
But
No. But I
that's how.
have a fat bank account. I'm successful.
Mm, you know.
Bro. I know a millionaire who now has only 200,000 in his savings, but he had millions
Damn.
personally because of what has happened.
Okay.
He can't get any stimulus, no nothing. So he was about to retire next year. Now he retires with 200,000
Okay.
as opposed to millions.
Okay. Yeah, man.
So he can choose
200,000.
to commit suicide because of who he thought he was, or he could choose to let that person who he thought he was die and rediscover who he is today. And that's
Amen.
the fear of the unknown is what
Yes.
people are depressed about. What's going to happen as opposed to what's going on. The suffering only happens when you get outside of the moment. That's when it happens.
Amen.
That's my experience.
Yeah,
I
man.
200,000. You think I could get his 200,000 in place of my 200? But you're right. You're right. Reverend Michael always told this story about a guy during the 2008 financial crisis that had called him for help. When he still had millions, but because he had lost billions, he couldn't take it and he committed suicide.
Yes. Yes.
Right. So even if you got that 200,000, you still be the same Jeff with the same problems.
Yes.
It would just be magnified.
Right.
Yeah.
So tangibly, so Kimberly wants to know about how do we address tangible changes, and I'm not quite sure I understand what tangible would be in terms of
Realistic.
yeah.
Real change.
Practical.
For me, nothing's changed for me.
Right. And
They,
so there has to be an acceptance of where you're at for now.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you've got some beans in the cupboard and you've got to live daily, day to day, moment to moment, whatever it is. That's what the reality of the situation is.
Well, what's happened for me, and I'll describe it, is I now have canceled my TV, so I have all I have is internet,
Me too.
You have
and
what?
so no cable TV,
Wonderful,
Cancel. Yep, canceled
and
it.
and
wonderful.
and I stop, like, when a light bulb burns out, I don't run out and replace it right away. I live
Hmm.
Wonderful.
with one less light bulb.
Yeah.
There's certain things, like I used to buy a certain brand of Kleenex, and now
Yeah,
I just whatever's available. There are things that
wonderful. Yeah, that's
change.
all good stuff.
And the thing is, my life still isn't there. I'm just not buying some things that I used to.
Right.
I'm
Hmm.
not. I can't afford the nice box of Kleenex, so I'm just going to get a box of Kleenex. Am
Right.
I
Wonderful.
crying about it? No. I mean, would it be nice to be able to afford that nice box of Kleenex? Yes, but
Right.
I'm not. I got to get the little thing, and I'm like,
Yes,
okay, it'll work. And
yes.
Mackenzie said this to me. She goes, "I really want something, and
Hmm.
I'd like to get this." And she said, I'm trying to figure out a way to work and get some money. I said, "Well, I would like to give you $20." She said, "No, Dad, you can't afford it right now.
Wow.
Hmm.
Please,
Good for
please,
her.
I can do without." So I have a really understanding daughter.
That's awesome.
In terms of a relationship, though, if what woman's going to walk by my house and go like, "Now there's a man successful"?
Hmm.
If
Well,
woman says that I'm successful, she is viewing me as a spiritual being and nothing else.
And
hmm
that's okay too.
And
That's
that
possible as well, bro.
I would go for that.
Yeah.
hmm
Okay. So
But
that's on its
yeah.
that's on its way.
if she come with a couple million herself, I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
Believe it or not, Jeff, there's a lot of women out there like that.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
know, and here's the thing is that, here we go into this patriarchal system where the man always had to be the provider, quote unquote, the provider, when most women today could take care of themselves, the children, and the man.
Right. And that's what we have been afraid of all along.
Ego.
That the woman is the
Yeah.
superior being. And if she's
Yeah.
able to cook and make the money and hold it down sexually, she's the
Live.
queen.
Yes. Whether she's the giver of life and death,
Right.
proverbially.
We don't want to give that away. And that's why
No.
we've been putting our thumb on women ever since, bro. Ever
Ever
since the
since.
Cleopatra days.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, because you're talking about the Council of Nicaea and
Yes.
all the things that followed from that system up till today. And
Right. There
so
were women priests in the Bible, but they erased all of that from the Bible.
all of it, because men wanted to control the women.
Absolutely.
Wanted to control the woman. The woman's in control whether we want to accept it or not.
Come on now. We all know this.
Okay, so here is an old cartoon, and I'll set it up. And this is perfect for what we're talking about. There's this little old cartoon where this little boy walks up to a little girl and says, "I've got a penny." She goes, "I've got a dime." And then he says, "Well, I've got a quarter." And she goes, "I've got a dollar." And then he points to his thing and says, "I've got one of these." And she lifts up her dress and she says, "I've got one of these. And with one of these, I can get as many of those as I want."
That's right. Hello. Profound.
Profound wisdom.
That is profound.
Come
And
on
that
now.
is the truth.
The truth, man.
Right?
That's all it is.
Right?
That's
True.
what it is. And here's the thing is that here's the other thing, Jeff. I mean, as far as a relationship goes, or marriage or whatever you want to call it, we've been conditioned as a status symbol that we all have to meet. And the fact of the matter is that, we have to look at the data. The data says over 50% of marriages end in divorce.
Right. Can't keep ignoring that number.
You can't. It's hard as hell to mar two lives together.
Yeah. Probably the hardest thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Relationship is the key. What you and Mackenzie have is a template
Mm.
for
Yeah,
what
but that's
everybody's
different from
really in
marriage
search
though.
of.
It's different from marriage though.
I mean, sex is a part of it, but
Right.
when
And
you
money. And
hit
money.
70, sex is not going to be that important. Relationship is
No,
going to
but
be what
Yeah, you're right. It's 70. But when it comes to marriage, it's sex and money are the main two things that relationships fight about, you know. So
Yeah,
when we're talking about relationship with your child, it's a totally different subject.
But
yeah, because we're I mean we're if we look at the biology of how we're created, you know, men after a while, we don't want the same person, you
Right.
know, sexually. Let's just keep it real.
Come on now.
It's not as inspiring.
Right.
I'll say
Right.
it. Nobody
Right.
else is saying it because we're so visual.
Okay.
So until we change our perception of our partner, you know, we're going to always say, damn, whenever anybody walks by.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's just the real.
And that's okay.
Respectfully, though.
Right.
Respectfully. You're never going to stop noticing, what you're attracted to.
Right. Right. And that's okay.
so
Yeah.
so let me just throw out, I want to use what I've used as my template for what I'm looking in a relationship now is what I have with Mackenzie, which means how I behave with her
Yeah.
and he behaves with me. And Kimberly says something. There's always a power struggle, but you know what? There are relationships where there is not a power struggle. There is
That's
no
right.
power struggle between
Yes.
and
Yes.
and
Why do you keep doing this?
Ebb and
are you
flow.
talking to me?
Yeah. Why do you keep acting like Kimberly is talking about a relationship like yours and your daughter's? Kimberly is probably talking about an
Well,
adult
just
relationship.
no, right. But listen, this is why I keep doing it. This is why I keep doing it. Because I believe the relationship is what I'm using, how we interact with each other can be the same with an adult if they are grown and mature.
I agree.
I
I
agree.
and every adult, if I am to have a successful non-power struggle relationship, it will be with somebody that relates to me the way my daughter does.
I agree.
Okay. Okay. And that's unconditional love and acceptance.
Conditional, unconditional,
Yes.
Unconditional.
and
Yes.
it
And
process.
that attraction to that person
Yeah.
will maintain, the
There you go.
visual, the thing that finds that person sexy forever.
Okay. There you go. So
It's
so so I challenge you this, Jeff. You love yourself unconditionally and you will attract a woman that will love you unconditionally.
absolutely.
Come on now.
When you
That's why
don't say,
I stay single.
when you say I am enough,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
when you say
Preach.
I am enough,
Uh-huh.
then somebody else will agree with that. You will
There you
attract that
go.
person that will say that.
But you gotta say it first.
Yeah. If you
You
feel
gotta
like,
say
well,
it
I don't have
first.
enough money to be with that person, or she
Uh-huh.
probably wants this, or I'm too old, or,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever self defeating energy depleter you throw out there,
The universe
you know,
feels it. The universe hears it.
yes, they will agree with you.
Right. Okay, the universe is gonna say yes, man, all
Yeah.
day. So I'm a
Jeff,
millionaire.
when this is all over, you're going to be able to review all this and write a book from it about who you became.
Ooh.
Who are you talking to?
Where's my money, Jeff? Where's my money?
Who you
By
became.
the way, we do. Hey, we do have the Triple J Show. If you search it, you
Uh-huh.
will find us on YouTube, the Triple J Show.
Word
Yeah.
up.
And
I'm already subscribed.
I've started posting the stuff there, but I'm having to edit stuff, so I
That
need
takes
to make
time.
Okay.
sure it all fits there. There's four things there right now,
Good.
Okay.
and
Thank you, Jeff.
so um, uh, you know, I everything was really wonderful about this whole conversation, except for when we talked about insurance. I just want to
I
throw
guess we
this
can
out.
edit that out.
I wish we could because I got
Good.
I have I am so repulsed by insurance companies and how they pillage this country and our pocketbooks,
Well, that's
and
why we were so crushed when Bernie dropped
and
out.
why they have convinced us that we have to have insurance and give them our money. I
Well,
am so incensed by insurance companies and the idea that healthcare is actually meant to that we're being taken care of. No,
yes.
Mm-hmm.
the healthcare, as everybody discusses, is me giving my money to somebody.
Right.
So,
but how does that help Mackenzie to have a healthy dad?
it doesn't.
It doesn't.
That's my point.
Yeah.
That's my point.
So yeah. So I've decided that and regardless, I keep hearing, Medi-Cal is free. I don't care. I'm telling you, there is something about if it's insurance. Here's what I know. The minute I go to, even if I have insurance for Mackenzie, if I walk to the doctor and say I'm paying cash, I instantly pay $75 less. And I go, okay, I will pay cash. And then, so I never do insurance ever. I always pay cash.
I understand.
Awesome.
That'll now. So anyway, but that's
see, that's what I mean. Like every podcast or live stream, Jeff has a rant of the day. There's our rant of the day. Thank you, Jeff.
We need those rants. We need rants.
But I mean, but see, it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me why we should even remotely think that we have to have insurance.
Yes, but
we just again,
it's one of those things. You know how you were saying you were accepting your neighbors across the street?
Oh, am I going to have to accept this shit?
There you go. What have we been talking about, Javon?
Yeah, but you don't have to accept medical insurance. You know what I'm saying? It's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. What we're understanding is
just get it over.
No.
Just die, Jeff.
The healthcare system is not in the healthcare system is not in the preventative system, right?
It's not.
They're in the, you have a condition, let us fix you, right? But once we understand that, no, it's a symptom from our lifestyle, then we can change our lifestyle and not have to spend thousands of dollars on their medication. But they don't believe in us and our human will to really change our lifestyle. They'll tell us, okay, stop eating this and drink more water. And we'll be like, okay, do that for a good week or so. And then we're back to doing the same shit. So, it comes down to discipline and really changing your lifestyle. And you won't need their medical insurance.
Exactly.
There are so many things to be unhappy with about this world, and the insurance, racism. We have to survive. I mean, until the people can decide, but there's not enough people. Triple J is a template for what we should all be doing. We should all be coming together, discussing our differences, and coming up with solutions for how to deal with these things. And until the world gets on that page, it's just going to be us trying to set an example of what could be.
Kimberly's like, I guess we solved relationships because we're back on insurance. You know what? There's no solving. Just say there's no solving relationships. There's never going to be any solving of it. It's going to come down to people working things out. And there's no immediate solution to insurance. Let me throw something else out, and I'm going to divulge something personal because it's the example I have. I wanted to get some Viagra.
Okay.
And I'm 61. Okay, I wanted. So I apply through this GoodRx online, and they got me a prescription at the local Rite Aid. You want to know what 50 tablets of 50 milligrams of Viagra were at the local Rite Aid?
What's that?
$1,266.
What?
I am not kidding. So I walked out the door. I walked 50 tablets of 50 milligram Viagra. $1,266 at the local Rite Aid. I walk out the door. I come back home. I get on Google Chrome and I search so I don't get guided back only to U.S. shit. I find a Canadian healthcare place that sent me 100 tablets of 100 milligrams for $84. That's
See,
insane.
and that's because the pharmaceutical, industry here is basically raping you. It's
Right,
rape.
right. So this is it, that sort of jumps on my whole rant and
Yes, I
Kimberly,
totally get that.
right
So it's
now,
really capitalism. It's really scamming nature of it, as opposed to just the insurance issue. That's what it really is. The people behind it. We should have
right.
health care for all. I mean, there's no reason why we can't have it.
And let me circle this back to the relationship. If Kimberly and I were in a relationship, we'd be sitting and talking about this shit right now.
What's that?
I like
If
that.
Kimberly and I were in a relationship, we would be sitting and fighting about this shit right now.
Right.
And this is
Right.
the kind of stuff that drives relationships apart. Because
Right.
it might be two completely different belief systems.
Right. Right. And you can't do it. There's another subject. Two different belief systems. Not going to work.
It's not going to work.
Right.
That's like two different philosophies. It's just not going to work.
Right. So everything that we discuss really isn't a relationship issue. Everything that we discuss right here is a relationship issue.
Absolutely.
And unless you have this understanding and this dialogue with somebody before you enter in a relationship with them, you will never be happy.
It's doomed for failure.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah. And number one thing is that relationship with yourself. If you don't, if you don't feel good about coming home to you, then how are you going to feel coming home to anybody else?
That's a great point.
If you're not okay, whatever, coming home and watching that favorite Netflix show and ordering that pizza and blah blah. If you're not fine and content with that, then how are you going to be fine and content with having somebody in your life that you're not fine and content with? It's just not going to happen.
Right.
Well, yeah, it'll happen for a little while, right? Until the goddamn quarantine hits.
Right. Okay. So Kimberly says, what about opposites attract? I swear to God, this is just me. And another conviction I have, there is no such thing as opposites attract.
I don't think opposites attract. I think like attracts like.
Like attracts like. And if you sit there and say opposites attract, the only way they work is one of the people has to say, that's what I like about her, and accept it.
No. Opposites usually show what you lack. That's the way I see it.
Thank you.
Something that you would like to be that somebody else has that you're attracted to. But really, I think when it comes down to it, is the attraction is the reflection of somebody else, yourself and somebody else.
Yeah. There it is.
Yep.
There it is.
If you see it in them, it's in you.
Exactly. If you see whatever it is, beauty,
Amen.
And one thing, that beauty is the reflection of who you are.
Right. So
I like that.
A psychic one day told me, this is before I got into this whole philosophy of attraction, the law of attraction. She said, imagine there being a bunch of mirrors around you, and everywhere you look, you see yourself. That's your life.
Ooh, who said that?
A psychic.
That's deep.
Imagine.
So
I really did. You're cutting out.
So true.
What was that, Jamie?
You were cutting out. I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, okay. Say that again, Jeff.
A psychic once told me that imagine a circle of mirrors around you, and everywhere you turned and looked, you saw yourself. That's your life.
Yeah.
That's you. Yes. Yeah. That's so true.
Yes.
And that
I agree 100%.
Yeah, that never changed. So fellas, we got people, if people wanted to know what we were like, today was a good today would have been a good session.
Good.
We should it's almost like are we married? No,
Yes,
wait a minute. No.
We're in relationship.
we are in a relationship.
We are
You know,
absolutely.
and
That's
there's something to be said.
mutually defined. It's mutually defined, not by one person or by
Right.
religion.
But there's something to be said about the power struggle of of a marital relationship. Um, because there's something there, right? Your roles in a relationship. Um, you know, but
Yeah,
that's another day for another conversation. But
that's a
I
good
feel
one.
like the power struggle could be somewhat healthy if you understand it and use it to your advantage.
Easy.
Well, one
I know.
one thing that I want to also point out, that as Kimberly being a female talking to us, is that we are coming from a perception of men. However, unlike some men, we actually believe in women being the equal. I
That's a good
want
point.
I want the woman who's with me to be my equal. I don't want somebody I need to take control of, and nor do I want her to take control of. I want an equal, and I believe women are the equal in us, in men, and that I would support a woman with me. I would
Yeah,
support her 100%. And you guys are that way too.
Yeah,
yeah. You want a team, you know. I mean, this is not,
partner.
power struggles can, I have a friend who's, he's a paraplegic, but his wife doesn't make him feel that way. You
Mm,
know, she loves him, takes care of him. They've been together almost 25 years. And she met him. He was like that. She totally accepted him for who he is, but she doesn't disrespect him as a result. They have a mutually defined relationship.
So should we just throw out power struggles altogether and say
I would throw it out like
that's the problem with
right away,
relationships?
right away.
Okay, tell
No
Kimberly
need
we
to be
just
right.
tell Kimberly
I
no more
think
power struggles. That's the problem.
right.
making the right, there's the right decision, and then there's making the decision right. And a lot of times, what we do is we use the right because I said so, or because that's the way it should be. But how is that getting you guys to dinner tonight? I mean, you're planning to go out and have dinner, and then somebody's saying, I want to go here, I want to do that, I want to. It's like, why don't we just go and eat?
That's a
You
really good
know,
point, man. So if you guys, I know because you guys understand music theory, and this is something that I'm starting to understand more and more. And this is what God is. So you're playing chords on the piano, right?
hmm
And you're in the key of A minor, and then you go to the key of E major. You can always go to some chord to resolve whatever you
yes,
did. You can always
yes,
resolve it with some other chord.
yes,
That's God,
yes,
right? And
yes,
and that's a
yes,
healthy relationship.
yes, yes.
Well, fellas,
And you just every chord has a form of harmony. you
As a
know
function.
yes, and
hmm
and no matter how dissonant, how happy, whatever mood it has, it takes harmony to make that chord.
hmm
And that's what we're not utilizing, is the harmony of when we come together.
There you go. There you go. But each being has to play their note in order to harmonize and blend.
Yes,
You know what I mean? You gotta play your part, homie.
yes,
Play your part to the best of your ability.
oh,
yes,
And then God can put you in his chord and create the love
yes.
he's trying to create on the planet. Can I get an amen?
Amen, my brother. I'm sending $2-3 in the mail to you.
Cash app at Javon McGlory. No.
hey, so we've been at this an hour and 10 minutes. It's 7:15, and we ought to think
Never
about.
seems like whenever we do these, it never seems like it's that long.
I know.
No, and I don't know about you guys, but every time I do this, I always feel better, regardless of how. I don't know how you guys feel when you hang up, but when I hang up, I'm like, okay, I need that. I need somebody to listen to me rant once in a while.
Right.
Every time,
Right.
every time.
Yeah.
because we're practicing being in the moment where there's no space and time.
It's a really good
That's the
point.
best way to look at it. It's like when you're practicing on your drums, you like, dang, it's been 3 hours,
Oh,
or you're singing, and you're singing songs,
Hmm.
It's like when you're doing something you love and enjoy doing, that's when everything is still. That one time I saw I was going to post something, I never got around to it, but I saw a baseball game one time. I'll never forget it. And the cameraman captured a baby sleeping while everybody was going bananas. And that's the key.
mm,
That baby was the only one in that moment right there. Was like aligned perfectly with that moment, which is peace.
mm.
And that's what it is that, I'm striving to do, is to try to be a piece of the moment. I cuss myself out sometimes now, because I'll be driving and then, I'll see something that I didn't like in the moment and I'll say, oh man, why is that? And then I'll jam myself and say, hey, the moment doesn't know you're upset right now. So you need to chill. You need to chill. And I'll see a little kid cross the street or somebody wave at me, and then that upset changes right away. It's like it disturbs the momentum of my upset and it brings me right back to the moment.
Something so small and subtle, huh?
Something so small and subtle. I'll go to deliver a heavy package and I'll be like, oh man, 3rd floor. And then there's a dog up there. Can't wait for me to get up there so I can pet it. And it changes me right away. It's like this dog doesn't know how heavy this package is. And I change my whole demeanor. It's like, man, if I could just learn to live like that, but that's unknowing the known.
Right.
Well, I
And
think it
that's,
also teaches or preaches to the fact that every little thing that we do has an effect,
yes,
positive or negative.
yes.
So, every little thing you do has an effect. So, like, I'm
And
jogging. I jogged 4.5 miles today, fellas. And so
that's good.
I'm jogging on my way back, almost about to run out of gas, and I'm about to stop. But then a guy on a bike rolled by and threw me the peace sign, and it gave me
Yeah.
just more energy to keep going.
Yeah.
Just that little peace sign, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
That's it.
Well, let me say, you guys have been my peace sign.
I like that.
You know,
Well, it's better than being your peace. So I'll accept that.
that's really killing me.
Come on, guys. I
Really
had to kill
killing me.
you sooner or later.
All right. So listen. So Sunday at 4.
Yes.
Okay. So just so you know, just between you guys, I'm really excited about this because I'm not going to do any shows on Saturday. I'm going to go over to Ricky's house and help her get her live stream together.
Nice.
Uh,
Wow.
she's such an amazing person. She's the female version of you guys to me.
Hey,
And
man, put on your best cologne, bro.
Yeah.
so
Or do like the French and go El Natural.
no, because I got to put on the mask
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
All right, fellas. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I'll take us out with a little bit more Ricky Byers and the Agape International's choir.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
So we'll listen a little bit of that, close out the show, and I'll see you guys on Sunday at 4.
All
All
right.
right.
Love you guys.
All right, love you too.
Peace.
Here we go.